The concept of Yoshi has always been cool. He's the Japanese love child of Kirby and Reptar. So it's only fitting that he makes his home amongst the crayon-rendered landscape of the Yoshi's Island art style. Yoshi's New Island is every bit the pastiche that the new in its name implies. Every one of its high points beholden to its SNES progenitor, and all of its foibles placed on its rampant desire to appease a contemporary audience. Stylistically, Yoshi's New Island is simply a modernized variant of the old Yoshi's Island. The haphazard, hand-drawn visuals are brought about in 3Ds, and contrary to skeptics, translate well to the 3DS screen. All the charm remains intact, and playing with the 3D switched on only adds to the diorama impression. Just as unique as its art are Yoshi's New Island's conventions. Like Godzilla amongst the denizens of Tokyo, so is Yoshi when confronted with a populace of Shy Guys. With a heart of gold and an exterior to match, Yoshi is inarguably an infallible being. His true liability rests on his back. Baby Mario is yet to grow into the overalls the Mushroom Kingdom demands of its savior, and with such an impactful passenger, Yoshi must allot all his efforts to attending to the young plumber. Luckily for him, this job is just as easily said as done. An infant Bowser means the hurdles placed before Yoshi are just as sophisticated as one would expect from a baby Koopa King. Even as the game progresses and the challenge steepens, Yoshi's indomitable stature assures no harm will come to him or his precious cargo. Yoshi consumes threats from a safe distance, flutters to firm ground, and pelts eggs at anything he dare not digest. Of course, all this and more, including difficulty, were present in Yoshi's original island. It's where Yoshi's New Island breaks away, do things get scrambled. One of the most unique features of Yoshi's Super Nintendo adventure were his tendencies to transform into a variety of items. So too does Yoshi's New Island imitate this, but with its own twist. Taking advantage of the 3DS's gyroscope, players are tasked with navigating Yoshi through a small obstacle course. In theory, this sounds like a nice way of adding variety and pacing to the mix, but in reality, the unresponsive motion controls turn the modernized homage into an unpleasant chore. The lack of an option to toggle between buttons and gyroscope, or just adjust the sensitivity, makes these segments frustrating and unenjoyable. The game itself even seems to concede to this, as later levels make these portions optional. Other additions like the Mega Egg Dozers and their metal counterparts are intriguing, but are rarely used, and when they are, it's simply an exercise of going through the motions and lacks any clever or evocative implementation. Yoshi's New Island is far from the best game in the 3DS's library, and for the hard-boiled veterans of the Super Nintendo era and its Yoshi game, is an easy pass, but for those unable to play the original, a good alternative is presented within its shell.